Marvel Minute. Ricky Flex, we have major news. We could not wait for the checkup. We had to talk about this. Avengers 5 news. We've been wondering who's going to direct the next Avengers movie, and it seems like we have a front one runner. It is his job to turn down, apparently. We have Shawn Levy as the front runner to direct Avengers 5. If he doesn't take the film, Marvel is still reportedly interviewing other potential candidates. This is a report that came from Variety. They gave some other tidbits about the Avengers 5 film. We'll go into that afterwards, but I want to get your reactions, Ricky Flex. Shawn Levy, director of Deadpool and Wolverine, do you think he's going to be the right fit to take up Avengers 5?
So I've been critical of Shawn Levy, because he's a comedy director. You know, Night at the Museum, This Is Where I Leave You, The Internship, Free Guy, The Adam Project recently, which I think is totally like not way overrated. But he does have that relationship with Ryan Reynolds, and he can do some sort of action. He's shown in Stranger Things, so I didn't hate him for Deadpool and Wolverine, and I think that trailer sold me. The trailer sold me that he could be great for this. Now, for Avengers, though, a big ensemble. There's another report today that said there could be over 60 Avengers or 60 heroes in that. I don't know if he's could do that. He can like do what the Russos did, kind of the prior experience with the MCU and a big like that their previous experience. I know he's gonna have experience with Deadpool and Wolverine, but that's a buddy kind of movie, a buddy duo. Like, this is a huge ensemble project and taking on massive ideas that are going to change the way the universe going forward. So, man, like I don't know, man. I guess I kind of have to trust them because I trust this because Deadpool and Wolverine must be an absolute banger if they're releasing this June 4th, a month and a half before Deadpool and Wolverine comes out. That movie must be incredible. And they're like, you're the guy. You are the guy. And to make us into this kind of in-between period before Secret Wars. So I guess I like it by default.
Ricky Flex, I got to be honest, I don't like this. This is a guy who's directing a movie that's very non-traditional right now for like a non-traditional MCU movie, and now is going to be asked to take on Avengers 5 and steer the ship. And he already has like pretty heavy shoulders right now with trying to get MCU movies back on track with Deadpool and Wolverine and the overall box office. This is R-rated, and it's a buddy duo and two characters that don't inherently originate from the MCU. So it's like we're having this guy take on characters that are experienced in the MCU. He's going for a different rating and more raunchiness and violence that you usually see with an Avengers 5, but that's not like the main reason why I don't necessarily love this. Deadpool and Wolverine has not come out yet. Everyone is praying that this movie is an absolute banger. The last time Marvel really banked on an upcoming release and the prospects of it to lead into the future of the MCU, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Okay. And what was the big prospect there? Marvel was saying this was Feige was even thinking this is a certified hit. We have our next big bad. Look where we are now. Not to mention the potential to have Levy named director before Deadpool and Wolverine actually gives me a vibe of another major superhero movie. And it makes me think of The Flash a little bit. It makes me think of Andy Muschietti being tapped by James Gunn to direct The Brave and the Bold as The Flash was being released. Because The Flash, we know the hype that was going into that. And the premature coronation of a director before like the box office backlash or before the audience backlash. That's also the vibe I'm getting. I do not trust this entirely. I think you have to look at more prospects. To say he is in the running, I don't mind. But to say it's his job to turn down, God, that makes me scared.
Yeah, like personally, I'm with you. And I think you make some good points about, the last time Marvel did this, like appointed somebody based off a movie that hasn't come out yet, not a good track record. But there's got to be like the previous time they did that, it had to have worked. It had to have. Like, I think probably was the Russos. It probably was. So I don't know, man. I'm with you. I think Deadpool and Wolverine's a different beast. That's why I kind of mentioned the Russos. They already did a Marvel project. Like, I don't consider, like, I know Deadpool and Wolverine is a Marvel project, but I'm not considering that a Marvel project. I'm literally thinking, like, people are saying, like, oh, it's going to save the MCU. I'm not viewing it as an MCU movie. Like, I'm just not. I'm
Yeah.
using, I know it is one. I'm just saying, I'm viewing it as just like a Deadpool movie. And, like, also Logan. I'm not viewing this as a much like a cohesive project. I know the TVA is in it. I know the Skull of Ant-Man's in it. But no, this is going to be a Deadpool movie, and then freaking Hugh Jackman's in it. That's what it's going to be. So it's not going to have those traditional formulaic Marvel, tidbits in it that an Avengers movie would have. That's why I'm scared of a Shawn Levy taking over an Avengers movie, especially without that previous traditional Marvel experience like the Russos had. God, I don't know, man. I'm so with you, but I want to look past that Quantum Mania mistake and say that was a one-time miss. I really do.
I feel like it's impossible to know who is right for the project. Like we had the Russos were like, it was perfect because they're coming up in the golden age of Marvel, right? They were a huge part of that turnaround from phase 1, phase 2 into like eventually, right, Infinity War and Endgame. Like they were there for Winter Soldier, like a game changer type of superhero movie. And they were working with a core member of the Avengers with Captain America. They have that connection. And then they had Civil War, which is like a tune-up for Infinity War. Right? You don't have that here. Like Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, when it was officially initially titled Avengers 5: The Kang Dynasty, Destin Daniel Cretton was tapped to direct. And what was he known for? Shang-Chi. Like Shang-Chi's not the core member of the Avengers. He's not going to be, he could be a Avenger, but he's not like someone where we trust that character and we trust the director that worked with them. The Russos were just perfect because they were with Captain America, the leader of the Avengers, and they had a mini Avenger movie before their Avenger movie. I feel like no one is qualified for this. I just don't like the timing of this right before Deadpool and Wolverine.
I think another thing that I want to say is that not only does he not have like the true Marvel experience or anything like that, or with a core Avenger or anything like that, but this movie, we have no idea what it's going to be about. Do they even know what it's going to be about?
Is it Secret Wars? 60 characters? Is this like when they say like 200 characters in Spider-Verse where 150 of them don't matter? Or it's like 60 heroes and villains? Is this Secret Wars?
I think Shawn Levy, he's a guy where he needs a good like script in front of him. He needs good he's not like a do it all himself type of director. He's a guy where he's just a director. He's gonna point the camera around, try to get the best. I'm not even saying get the best out of your actors. Probably get the best comedic things out of their actors, but I'm not gonna say get the best out of his actors. But he's gonna get something out of their actors. He's just gonna do the traditional directing stuff. He's not gonna do everything else. He needs something perfect in front of him, basically. And you're telling me a story that we don't really know. We haven't even changed the title yet officially to something other than Avengers: Kang Dynasty, just as now as Avengers 5. And it's going to be everyone's going to be looking ahead to Secret Wars. It's kind of like, I don't want to say a lose-lose situation, but it's almost a lose-lose situation.